You've advocated in foreign policy speeches for a more pragmatic and nuanced foreign policy. How do you balance these forces of what's possible versus what outcomes you'd like to affect in an ideal world on examples such as Syria?
First of all, you have to begin from, I think, looking at two things at the same time. One is, what are you prepared to do? And the other is, what's the outcome that you wish to achieve and how are you going to best ensure that you get to that outcome? Syria has been an extremely challenging and horrible, in the context of what's happened to the people, the buildings, the history, the culture of the country. It's been a story that's gone on for far too long. And no doubt, on reflection, people will come up with things that perhaps if they've been done earlier or differently, and so on. But at the time, you do the best that you can in the circumstances that you're faced with. And I think the combination of wanting to see a leader who allowed his people to be killed if he didn't kill them himself, it's one or the other. And I believe that the first role of any government is to protect your own people. And if you're not doing that, then you should go. I think he has to leave. The question is how and when. But you also need to be sure that you're not then leaving chaos on the ground and you're actually being involved and engaged in trying to help support what comes next.
And on this issue in Syria of altering the balance of power on the ground, do you think EU countries lending military power earlier on in the Syrian civil war would have altered this balance of power, or is it too early to tell still?
You know, it's a really difficult set of discussions because, you know, on the one hand, wanting to support what you might call moderate forces of people who had been attacked for demonstrating against what they saw as an oppressive regime is extremely important. There was a big question right from the beginning about ensuring that you could reach those people with any equipment that you might give. We gave a lot of what we call non-lethal equipment from the very beginning. Things that would protect people, night vision, goggles, armour, so on. We didn't give weapons from the EU, and the EU doesn't have any weapons, as it were, itself. But I think it was a really challenging conversation and difficult for member states. And, you know, there's lots of things that will have happened and have gone on that when we look back, we may be able to give a better analysis. I think at the moment it's quite difficult to establish whether we did things too late or whether indeed having done something different earlier would have made a difference. It's really, really complicated to tell that now.